The Maine State Prison has decided to end a policy that forced female visitors to take their bras off if they wanted to see an inmate. Yes, that was an actual policy that they had, and they reversed it after they got enough complaints about it. Now, apparently they would do so because they were worried that women were hiding something in their bras. If they would go through the metal detector and it would beep, well then they were thinking, okay, these women are probably hiding something contraband, who knows what it is. So a number of women were complaining about this, one of which was Stacy Venable. She said, there's a line I don't cross. It's called integrity. I'm not taking my bra off to go into an all-male prison. Another woman says, it's noticeable. You're exposed and you're in a room with sex offenders and pedophiles. It's embarrassing and it's scary. Now, the incredible thing about this is that less than a dozen women, half a dozen women came forward and they complained about it. And the commissioner of the prison, Joseph Fitzpatrick, realized that, yeah, this is a crazy policy, and he did decide to reverse it. He says, part of the way you change culture in an organization is you set the tone, lead by example, and you address things. Adding that while the prison can't sacrifice safety, it can ensure it in a way that balances that objective with human decency and respect. I just want to give Fitzpatrick all the credit in the world, because it's not like this was a huge national headline and there was all this negative PR and people were attacking him. Half a dozen women complained about it, and he's like, yeah, this is actually pretty crazy. We're violating these innocent women who just want to visit these inmates.
So two things about this. One is sometimes there's a dual purpose. One is you've got some veneer of a real reason to do it. Well, it could be metal lining in a bra, or they could sneak stuff into a bra. And then there's the real reason, which is we want to see them without their bras. Or maybe they're both real. But you can't discount one of them. Like, for example, when we were doing wiretapping in Iraq, and the NSA and the CIA told us, don't worry, it's just to catch terrorists. And it turns out, no, we were spying in on our own troops and listening on their phone sex calls. Yes, it was probably the original reason was to actually catch terrorists, but when you let human beings run a program, they're obsessed with sex and they're gonna listen on your phone sex calls. So, and in this case, it is going to be, like they said, embarrassing, and there's gonna be guys who are leering, and not just the prisoners, but probably some of the guards too, because they're all human. So now the second part of this is that there are some lines we shouldn't cross, even if it rests a certain outcome that it's not great. So it's not great to have contraband snuck into prisons, that sucks, I get it. I know why you wanna fight that. But I've seen the movies. It turns out you can actually sneak it in other orifices of your body.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do before everybody comes in with women? You're gonna, inspect in that way. And by the way, for women and men, a lot of times it's in the anus.
Is that how you would inspect, Cenk? You would inspect like this?
I'm just saying. I've seen German porn. Okay. And so for men and women, another direction. Yeah. I mean, you could do that. I'm saying, hey, I've got contraband coming in this prison. By any means necessary, I got to make sure that we do that. No, of course not. So that there are some lines you shouldn't cross.
Right. Look, I think that it's in everyone's best interest to provide an environment that promotes safety, right? And so in this case, they want to make sure everyone's safe, whatever it is. But don't be so willing to give up your privacy and some of your freedoms in the name of safety, right? We've already done that when it comes to air travel, for instance. And by the way, the TSA is now pushing for advanced pat downs as a universal method of screening people.
No,
so that's something that you should keep in mind. And the way that politicians or public figures try to garner support for that type of stuff is by scaring you and making you think like, we're doing it for your protection, we're doing it to protect you. But no, they're doing it to violate you and take away your privacy. And so don't let your privacy go so easily. In this case, think about how egregious this is. Think about how crazy it is to have a bunch of male guards tell you that you have to take your underwear off before you go in to see a loved one.
Yeah, so look guys, on the advanced pat downs, they are very invasive. Now I travel all the time. I don't want a plane blowing up, I'm in the plane, right? So I've got every incentive in the world to make sure that they're doing everything they can for safety. But checking everybody's crotch with the back of your hand is way too far, way too far. No, I vote no. There's got to be some bounds of reason. I mean, Anna and I both have had at different times advanced pat downs. They're not a pleasant experience.
Yeah.
To inflict everyone with that. And by the way, the other thing it does is it's a giant invitation to pervs.
Of course,
like the Sandusky's of the world who would go and find powerless children and they target them while pretending to help them. When you say, hey, you're gonna get to feel everybody's crotch at the airport, who do you think is gonna show up and apply, right? So I definitely know, and I'm glad they got rid of this. Become a member of the Young Turks.
I think it's weird.
No, it's not. Afterwards, you'll think,
I'm like a smart person.
TUITnetwork.com/join.